Hi, are you stressed out? Well, I'm sorry, there's not really much I can do about that, but you know what I can do? I can offer you some gut-free entertainment. You ever heard of a Dwegon?
Ah, what are you?
Oh my God, what is that?
I don't know how much you guys remember about old school Netflix, but at one point in time, it only had like 5 categories. And within those categories, the family section would have the most randomest and weirdest movies that had nothing to do with kids or family just crammed in it. Now, my theory is that Netflix probably had like a contract with some of these movies and they did not want to really advertise them because most of these movies that were crammed in the family section, they were of kind of low quality, they weren't really good, and they didn't have good reviews. So I feel like they had a contract and they just told these people, yeah, we'll advertise it, and they threw it in the kids section hoping no one would really see it, or maybe kids might accidentally see it and click off of it. That way they wouldn't get in no type of legal trouble for not advertising the movie. That's just my theory, so no lawyers come at me. Netflix, sit down. That's just my theory, a game theory. But anyways, within this section is how I found Dwegons and leprechauns. And no, do not correct me. I am not saying dragons. I am saying Dwegons. And before we move any further, I have to call this movie out. That's right, Dwegons and leprechauns. You're getting called out. There is no reason this movie should be called Dwegons and leprechauns. This could have just been called Dwegons because leprechauns are mentioned one time and one time only. And they are shown one time and one time only, and we don't see them anymore. They're not even on the cover of the movie. There might be like a little 4-leaf clover and some rainbows, but these leprechauns are not mentioned. So this movie should just be called Dwegons. Okay, pause. So this is editing Hannah. Upon further inspection, I looked at both of the movie covers and I was wrong. There is a leprechaun. However, there is only one little leprechaun. And my point still stands. This movie should just be called Dwegons and Leprechaun. So my bad. I was wrong about this singular leprechaun on the cover, but I'm still correct. Now, upon searching up this movie, you might be turned off because it does have a 3 out of 10 on IMDb and a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, but like, who cares what they have to say? What you should be worrying about is what I have to say. And I'm gonna read you right quick the plot of this movie that Google says, and then I will tell you the real plot. According to Google, the plot of this movie is a family inherits an old house filled with amazing and colorful magical creatures. An all singing, all dancing romp ensues with a wide range of creatures playing a role in bringing the family closer together. So let me tell you something. I don't know who wrote that and said that was the plot, but clearly they must have watched a different movie than me, because that is not what happens in this movie. These little demon creatures literally harass this family and cause all the problems that happen in this movie, and then they obviously have to fix the conflict that they caused, and then somehow they're seen as the good guy. That is the plot of the movie. Now let me explain to you what a Dwegon is. So from what the movie says, what happened was the main characters, the main family, they're called the Fitzgeralds. So the Fitzgeralds were like traveling during the Great Migration, or whatever they said. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot. But anyways, the family has been traveling, and through their travels, they meet the leprechauns. And for whatever reason, the leprechauns decide, you know what? We want to go with you, but only us men. The female leprechauns, for whatever reason, they don't go. Maybe they don't exist. I don't know. That opens up more questions, because if female leprechauns don't exist, how the heck do these male leprechauns exist? But anyways, the male leprechauns travel with the Fitzgeralds. And when the Fitzgeralds reach their new home, the male leprechauns are now upset and complaining. They're mad because they're like, oh my God, I am so horny. I want to dance with somebody. I'm trying to get my freak on. Where are the women's? Which, again, maybe you should have brought some female leprechauns. But anyway, there's no fear. The Fitzgeralds say, don't worry about it. We got you. And they give them some fairies, some female fairies.
Yes, fellas, I know it's Saturday night, but there are women folk around for you to take to the dance.
And so because these leprechauns. And these female fairies got together. They somehow created this beautiful creature from hell, and then they called them Dwegons, which I don't really understand why that's the name. But yeah, that is how these demon creatures came into existence. But let me just point out some little holes in that story, because during the time that they say these male leprechauns were traveling with the Fitzgeralds, we are left to assume the Dwegons don't exist, right? But literally, the opening shot of this movie is during the time the Fitzgeralds are supposedly traveling and the leprechauns are supposed to be with them. Why are there Dwegons there already?
Hello, my little friends. I see you were able to keep up with us.
So I don't understand. How did these leprechauns do all of this if the Dwegons are existing? Are you lying to me, movie? Because I don't like liars. But anyway, I have rambled enough about this movie. It's time to actually get into the plot of this movie. So this movie opens up with literally trying to kill a child. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It literally this movie tries to kill this child with this horrifying bear. But don't worry, it doesn't happen. The Dwegons are here and they scare the bear off. And so because of that, the kid, he declares loyalty for the Fitzgeralds. Also too, I kind of skipped over it, but the Dwegons and the Fitzgeralds kind of have like a little exchange. They have a contract where the Fitzgeralds have to give the Dwegons donuts, and in change, the Dwegons will give them gold, which to me, I'm like, hey, that's a win-win in my book. So that's our opening of this movie. It briefly almost kills a child and then also gives us a little backstory on how the Fitzgeralds and the Dwegons came to be buddies or co-workers. So then we fast forward. The same child that they tried to kill, don't worry about it. The creators have not given up on trying to kill this kid, because now he's a really wrinkly old man. And I gotta say, this man, he lives in some slums. Like, cause it's cute. He's like in the country. I get it. And he's supposed to be like, I guess, like living his best life with the animals, but he could at least clean his house. Like, he got bugs everywhere. There are holes in the ground. The curtains is all ripped out. Like, sir, where is your family? Does nobody love you? Didn't no one tell you to clean up your house? But anyways, he's in the kitchen making his pancakes that kind of look like flour tortillas, and this thing is emerging and it falls into the batter, and guess what that is? It's the Dwegon. And oh my god, it is absolutely horrifying. I don't get the biology of how this thing works or how it is even alive. This thing is called Nosy, which I guess, like, that's another thing. These people have names. I'm not going to be referring to all of them as their names because I can't remember all these. It's a lot of characters. I can't remember all these characters' names. So you might just hear me refer to them as something different than what the movie said their name was. But anyways, this is Nosy. And just look at the way he is built. He is literally a big head with arms and legs. And obviously his little nasty wings and horns. But like, he shouldn't exist. There's no biology. How can he like process food? I know you're probably like, calm down, this is an animated movie, it's a kids movie. I know it's a kids movie, but like, why he gotta look like that in this kids movie? You couldn't make them look cute? Why do they gotta look like that? But don't worry, he is not the only Dwegon. Oh no, we have not even gotten to the others yet. But anyways, you know, Nosy falls up into the pancake batter, and for whatever reason, this old man, he don't care. He continues to make his little pancakes, and then he has a heart attack.
Bed with his friends. And Jimbo. Jim!
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it is funny because it's just so jarring. Out of nowhere, they're having a conversation and he starts having a heart attack. And in the midst of his heart attack, he tells Nosy to find his last living relative, which is Pete Fitzgerald. So now that the creators have finally killed that little boy, we are now greeted with our true main character. So we have Pete, who is the dad, and that's what I'm going to refer him as too. And then you got Grandma Fitz, and then Timmy. Timmy's really like our main character, but do you notice anything about this family? Yeah, it's the dad. He's absolutely terrifying. His mouth is so big, and it's just something about the way this dad's face is built. It bothers me. He bothers me. He's not like a bad guy or anything. He's just bothersome to look at. But anyways, apparently they were about to get evicted. You know, life was rough for them, and it's okay because the old man, he got this nice little house that he's giving them. Except for when they get to this house, they notice there's animals, there's bugs, holes, you know, it's garbage. And for whatever reason, there's this woman who's just here at this house. They don't know who she is. And I shouldn't laugh, but the way she introduces herself she's just so random.
Melissa Rogers. Most people call me Missy.
I don't know why, but every time that scene plays, it absolutely kills me. I showed this movie to my mom and she literally said that was a sugar baby. That's not my words, but that's absolutely hilarious. Clearly the only reason for her to exist is so she can be like the love interest for the dad, which I guess he ain't really cute. She ain't all that cute either, but I gotta say, she built right though. She got the little booty, got a little some, so you know what? Good for them. I'm honestly happy for them. But anyways, this family now moves into this house, and the Dwegons are trying to give the gold to the family because that's apparently what they do. Their whole gig is that they just help Fitzgeralds. They give them gold, and then the Fitzgeralds give them donuts. But before they even get to the situation of trying to give them gold, they hold a meeting, and it's at this meeting where we see all of these demon creatures. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember all these characters' names. I wasn't gonna bother to remember them, but the main ones that you need to know, this is Nosy. He's kind of like the main Dwegon, and then there's Sophia. Yeah, she has like a random name, and clearly looking at Sophia, you can tell she the baddie out the Dwegons. But anyways, all the Dwegons are sitting at this table. They're having this meeting, and the best character in this entire movie introduces herself.
The best helping hand is a hand unseen.
When I tell you, I love this character so much. Like, out of all the Dwegons, she is my favorite. I absolutely hate how she looks. Her head is so little, her skin is so nasty, and her voice kills me. Every scene she's in, when she is talking, she uses this voice, and she is always singing. So anyway, it's through this meeting that they finally decide that, hey, we're gonna give these people some gold, but we can't let them see us, which I don't understand why that became a rule, because the previous Fitzgeralds could see the Dwegons, but now we got to stay hidden. So anyway, they're trying to give the family some gold, and they're hiding in all these places, and it's not working. And so what do they do to try to get this to work? They literally kidnap the child Timmy and bring him down into their like Dwegon lair and get him to sign this contract.
Hey, you. Yeah.
That's not a joke. That's literally what happened. It's also during this scene that they take Timmy on like this wondrous little adventure through Dwegon land, which is really scary and it's really frightening. I'm getting stranger danger. Timmy needs to call the police. But yeah, they create a contract with a 10-year-old. And now what Timmy's doing is he plants the gold. You know, he acts like he finds it, and the family, they're able to fix up the house. And Timmy is also trying to like do everything the Dwegons is telling him to do, but also trying to be really like inconspicuous and not let the family know that the Dwegons exist. So we're gonna halt on this plot because there is another subplot. So I skipped it, but when the family was arriving to this home that Grandpa Fitz died in, there was another car that was on the road and nearly killed the family. And in the car was Bulma and Vegeta. No, their real names is Vladi and Tatiana. So Vladi and Tatiana are apparently like these great thieves. They're like these professional thieves, and they're hired by the boss baby to go steal this priceless artifact. And so there's a subplot going on between Tatiana and Vladi are supposed to steal this priceless artifact. But then when they steal the priceless artifact, the boss baby's little minion, Eeyore, he is telling them, okay, well, we need to go back to the boss baby and drop it out to them. And they say, no, we're not going to do that. And they throw this man out the car. And it wasn't like the car was parked. They are driving and moving. After they get the artifact, they lunge this man out the car. He could have died. He didn't die. But yeah, they just say bump it. And so then the plot starts to take off because obviously Vladi and Tatiana, they're trying to find somewhere to lay low. And they look up online and see, oh my gosh, the Dwegon Inn, which that's another thing I forgot. While all that was happening with Tatiana and Vladi and the boss baby, the other plot over here with the Dwegons is that the Dwegons want the family to turn their house into an inn. But the problem is when they start doing construction, they are about to like break up the Dwegons' home. So what do the Dwegons do to stop that? Not only do they break the equipment that is needed to like help fix this house, they literally break into the dad's bed, tie him up to his bed, and they say they're having a negotiation, but I'm gonna tell you what really is happening. They are threatening this man.
Ah!
They basically tell him like, hey, you need to stop it. Stop knocking on our door. We are the Dwegons. We're the reason you got money. You can do this the good way or you can do this the hard way. And so, you know, the dad, obviously fear for his life, he decides to listen to them. Oh, they also drop a bombshell that they also kidnapped his kid. And they've been communicating with Timmy, which the dad is obviously very freaked out about. I would be too if these little demon creatures that have tied me to my bed that are standing on top of me tell me that they took my kid to some magical land and they just been communicating him. Like I said, call the police, lock these creatures up. But anyway, they turn the house into an inn. They call it Dwegon Inn. You know what? It's kind of unimportant. But anyway, back to Tatiana and Vladi. Tatiana and Vladi now go to the Dwegon Inn, and this is kind of where things get crazy. So while Tatiana and Vladi are staying here, obviously the family are getting some weird vibes from them because they're being really weird and mysterious, but they're also just like, they ain't none of our business. They some good paying guests. We finna mind our business. But here's the problem. We have little demon creatures who live in the house who don't know how to mind their business. So what happens? The Dwegons then break into the room that Tatiana and Vladi are staying in and then go through their things. And obviously what they find is the stolen artifact. And so the Dwegons then say, oh my God, this is perfect for an art museum. And they steal it and take it to the Dwegon land. And so, you know, they take this to the Dwegon land and they have like a little party because that is another side thing I forgot. This movie is classified as a musical. It's not a musical. It probably has like 3 scenes where Sophia is singing and I don't even know what the heck she's singing about. I guess she's just singing about a good time. So anyways, they steal the little artifact. They got it in their Dwegon land. They're having a good time. Tatiana and Vladi then go back to their room and obviously they see that their artifact is stolen. And so what's the logical thing that criminals are going to do when they see that their stuff is stolen? Maybe they start pulling out guns on people. They literally have a gun up to Pete's, the kid, and grandma, trying to figure out where their artifact is. And obviously Timmy and the dad are like, oh my God, it was the Dwegons. So then they take these people to like Dwegon land, and obviously the Dwegons kind of fight them, But oh no, they didn't defeat them. Tatiana and Vlad just kind of ran off somewhere in Dwegon land. And while they run off, they run into a big bad villain of the Dwegons, Dwegon. But that is not his actual name. It's Daryl.
Real name is Daryl, but he thinks Dwegon sounds scarier.
It does.
Yeah.
The big bad villain of the Dwegons is Daryl. So apparently the thing that Daryl did to get locked up in his little buddies is that they want to harness all the power and destroy the Dwegons, which, you know, typical cartoon villain things. But the thing is, I don't understand why the Dwegons have him locked up in their land and have him so easily accessible. Like, the villains Vladi and Tatiana, they're able to like open him up easily, and they form a partnership that they're going to get rid of the Dwegons. So what ends up happening is Daryl and Tatiana and Vladi are now attacking the Dwegons, and the Dwegons don't know what to do because, oh my God, Daryl and his friends are loose, and Tatiana and Vladi got guns. We ain't never dealt with guns. Pause. Because while this is happening, you remember Grandma Fitz? Yeah, I kind of briefly mentioned her. She ain't really that important. Grandma Fitz is still upstairs. She didn't go down with them. She stayed up in the house. Well, while she's in the house, guess who comes to give her a visit? That's right, it's the boss baby and Eeyore. So the boss baby and Eeyore are up in the house just, you know, chilling with Grandma. And I just gotta say, side note, Grandma Fitz, she got, what is it that y'all kids like to say now? She got W-Riz or whatever. Because, yeah, the boss baby, he wants a piece of her. This little nasty old Dwegon, he want a piece of her, which I don't even understand what he thought he was gonna do with her. He's not even the size of her hand, so I don't know what she can do with that.
If I was only 100 years younger, man, that hot mama would be in big trouble.
But anyway, Grandma Fitz is up there with the boss baby. He's pretending that he is like a relative of Lottie, trying to, you know, figure out where they are and like waiting for them. So anyways, Grandma Fitz is upstairs with the boss babies, going downstairs to Dwegon land. Tatiana and Vladi and Daryl, they're over here wreaking havoc. And finally, Timmy and the Dwegons and other people, they come up with a plan and they fight back using, I believe it was potato. So good for them. When in doubt, potato. So hi, yeah, Editing Hannah is back. I forgot to mention that the main way they defeated the bargain was that they had to call upon the Chinese Dwegons to help them. And no, that is a very serious sentence. They literally had to call upon the Dwegons that live in China, who then in turn sent a transformer-like thing that defeated Dwegon. And that kind of opens up more questions on, so there's other types of Dwegons? Do these Dwegons all have different ethnicities? Does that mean there's different type of leprechauns? Because I thought leprechauns are just an Irish thing. So are there Chinese leprechauns? Are there African leprechauns? You know, there so many questions. Hopefully in a sequel they will answer those. So they defeat Vladi and Tatiana and Daryl. I think Daryl dies or they lock him up. To be honest, I kind of forgot. But anyways, they take Tatiana and Vladi back upstairs. And obviously, like I said, Grandma Fitz and Boss Baby are waiting for them. So Boss Baby pulls his gun out on everybody. Grandma Fitz is a little surprised. But no, not to fear. The Dwegons have called the police. I don't know when they called the police, but they did. And so the police come and they arrest everybody. And it's supposedly a happy ending. The Dwegons still have the artifact. They never returned the stolen artifact, which now means that not only are the Dwegons an accomplice, but also the Fitzgeralds are now thieves. And then they're able to, like, you know, just chill. There's no repercussions to anything. Everyone's happy. Oh yeah, obviously the dad and Missy got together. Grandma Fitz is still grandma, and Timmy is apparently really happy. And I don't get it. It just ends.
Dwegon!
So yeah, that was Dwegons and Leprechauns. I know that kind of felt like it was really scattered. That's because that's how the movie is. The movie is very fast paced and scattered, but I also did not want to get into too much details because just in case you wanted to watch it, I did not want to spoil anything because you have to experience this movie. I have shown this movie to so many people in my family and my friends, and now I'm showing it to you so you can show it to your family and your friends. And if you don't have friends, you could just keep watching it a bunch because this movie needs to be shown. This movie needs to be shown in theaters. It needs to be studied. But honestly, watching this movie, it's gonna leave you very confused and conflicted because on one end, this movie's really ugly. These creatures are scary. The Dwegons, I hate them. But then I love this movie. I can't understand why this movie brings me so much joy. And I feel like this review that I found wraps up the feeling of that not only I feel, but I feel like you will feel after watching this movie. At one point in time, I thought there was nothing worse than death. I thought that death was not only the ultimate equalizer, but also the worst possible punishment, something we all suffer for, trying to defy the universe itself by being alive. Being alive is such a wondrous thing. We get to experience both the harshest spectrums of pains and also the most delightful pleasures. We can internalize and contextualize anything at all, and at some point someone has, but you can do it all on your own. Everything you can think of and everything you can't, you can do it. Even the idea of thought and consciousness is incredible to me. I can entertain myself for hours simply by taking time to just sit there and think and rethink everything that has ever happened to me. I can firmly say that I have never truly been bored of life or tired of, not once in my whole existence. I love and admire the creature that invented being alive and conscious. I truly believe with my whole heart that the black, empty, dull void of death is the only true enemy in my life, in every life. But god dang, did I want to die watching this movie. So yeah, that was that movie. This was my video. I hope you were entertained as much as I was entertained watching and making this video. And I don't really know what else to say. You can comment, like, subscribe, you know, do all that great things. And I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye. Are you still here? Go home, go do something. Bye-bye.